All right, it looks like we are live, I think. There we go. Hey, Toby, let me know when you guys can hear and see me. I've got the live stream chat up on my computer, and this is the first time I've ever streamed through YouTube, so it's kind of a whole new experience. But I'll hang out here. Oh, it looks like, okay, so you guys must be able to hear and see me, because you can see the box. There's a box. Hey, everybody, I hope you're all doing really well. Thank you for joining me on tonight's exciting live stream. My name is Clint, this is Necromolds, and thank you all for being here. And before we get to the box, I just want to personally thank everybody, because everyone who's watching this live stream tonight is basically responsible for whatever we find in this box. So without your guys' support and enthusiasm and patience through the last year of manufacturing, we would not be to this step today, which is the final step before the manufacturing partner can just finish assembling it and hopefully get these things onto a cargo ship to get them eventually to all of you. So let's jump into it. All right, so what is in the box? And I can see all of the chat up on my screen, so feel free to ask any questions or anything like that. And hopefully, okay, it looks like I have an excellent connection, so it should be good on my end of things. All right, let's get into this. Thank you, goblins. Everybody I just want to make sure, is anyone getting the stream without awful buffering issues? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. It says that I have, let's see. I just want to make sure that I don't have any streaming issues on my end before we jump into it. Let's see. Stream status, good. Good connection. All right, cool. I think we're okay. I'm going to move my, just in case, I don't think this would be an issue, but just in case, I'm going to move my wireless headset receiver a little further from the computer, because sometimes that gives me wireless issues. All right, here we go. Let's get into what is in the box. And you guys have no idea how tempting it has been to open this thing, as it's basically just sat in my office all day today. And I had to stare at it. And of course it got here first thing in the morning. All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go. What is in the box? Should be a lot of stuff, I think. I've never done a live stream where I haven't peeked in the box before, so everyone's in for a treat. All right. Here we go. Let us start. Ooh, wow. Okay. No wonder where the box was heavy. Ugh. Let's start with these bad boys. Oh. All right. This is, yeah, so just to describe it quick for Toby, who's asking what they can expect in the box versus the pledge levels, the box is going to contain everything that that Necromolds basically manufactured. So we should see everything in here, and I'll call out as we open it what things are for which levels. But if you're an all-in pledge, you'll basically be getting everything that we're going to be seeing in here. So you'll be all good. All right. You know what? I'm going to double check one thing. Oh, let's cover that back up. Don't peek. I'm going to double check one thing quick on my end and just make sure I'm not outputting. Well, I should be outputting 1080. I don't think I'm outputting 4K. Let's see here. let me just look at one setting on my end, and that might help with some of the buffering issues, maybe. Let's see, 1 second. Stream, output, okay. That's gonna, okay, we should up that for sure. All right, low latency. All right, 1 second, everybody. Apply. All right. Here we go. We'll forge forward. Here we go. Okay, so first up, we have the special edition. We'll cover up the other one. We have the special edition of Necromolds Monster Battles. Look at that beautiful box. Luckily, I've gotten to see all of these things piecemeal throughout the manufacturing process. So if you're an all-in pledge, you get this cool limited edition box sleeve for going all in on your pledge. All right, so let us open up this. And I'm trying to be very careful as I open all these things. Just because I have to use all of this for my photography, for getting stuff ready for being online. So I'm gonna open everything extra careful as we get into the battle box. All right, here we go. Let us take the plastic off and see what is inside. All right. Oh, I'm just so tempted to like rip this plastic off, but I have to use gentle hands. These are all hero products, hopefully, as long as we don't have any issues. Oh, beautiful. All right. There it is, without the plastic. Oh, there we go. And I've got it so basically there's kind of different designs and logo layouts on all the sides, but there's our front, there's our back. There's a lot of fun details for you to check out once you get your copy and can dig into it a little more. And yes, it is. It's matte black, and it has purple details that might, yeah, they kind of show up on here. It's matte black with purple, like a flat purple for some of the larger shapes, and then for other shapes, it's like this foil lime green color, and it looks fantastic in person. All right, so here we go. Let's slip the cover off, and we'll take a look at the standard, or I should say just the normal Necromolds Monster Battle Box. All right, here we go. There it is. Everything looks great. All right. There it is. The Necromolds Battle Box. It freaking looks awesome. So you can see one of the things you haven't seen yet is our product window. So we have a little window there that has the Mud Mump spellbook in it, as well as one of the caster rings. There we go. As well as one of the caster rings. And eventually, if we can get our order numbers up, I want to turn that black tray into like a green tray or a purple tray. But you can get a little product preview. Try to hold it nice and close. There we go. Right there. You can see Monguragon on the corner of the box here. Monguragon storming into battle as all the Mud Mumps race into battle as well. Right here you have a fallen Mud Mump. He obviously did not make it. And of course, rising above all of them is Basalt Lesueur. Where is he? There he is. Basalt Lesueur, Necromolds quote-unquote villain. Necromolds Monster Box. Thank you, Toby. Yeah, and thank you, Jason. I wanted to make the collector's, or I should say, I wanted to make the all-in pledge special since one of the things we did for a stretch goal is we made this box bigger. So the box wasn't originally supposed to be this big. It was actually about a third smaller than what you guys see here. But because of an awesome stretch goal, we were able to expand the box so we could fit more books and accessories and stuff in the box. And then as a special thank you to our all-in pledge, which really helped drive us past that stretch goal, I included the collector's edition sleeve, which I should call out. The artist is Nathan Motzko. He's an awesome artist and who does a lot of like abstract shapes and stuff like that. If you check out his Instagram, I think I linked it in a previous Kickstarter update. But I just love his artwork and I love his compositions, and I reached out to him to help me do the design for the Necromolds Collector's Edition sleeve. So I wanted it to be something special and bring in an artist or a different artist to help make it, so it felt more exclusive. All right, let's take a look at the back. Let's see. Okay, cool. I saw buffering for a second, so I want to make sure we're all still good. All right, so the back of the box. We'll see if it focuses here. There we go. See, basically on the back of the box, you'll be able to dig into the details a little more once you have it yourself. And I should check quick. Any buffering issues? You guys still all here with me? Just want to make sure. Tech check. All right, I think we're all good. And then finally, before we open the box, on each side we have, some different monsters are featured here. So, Insectomite, who's included in the box, as well as our Astral Owl, which is one of our Series 1 rings that can be collected. And then on each side, whether you store it vertically, horizontally, each side has, there we go, some different monsters that you can display and show off your Necromolds battle box. So, and the coolest thing is it's really well made. So just the feel of the box, it feels really good, and the colors look fantastic. All right, let us open it up. Let's see, Petropod on top. Yes, we do have little Petropods up there. Where is he? There he is. Petropod's hanging out up on top of the box. All right, here we go. The lid is being peeled away. Petropod is always smiling. Under those bones and the archaeological dig site that makes up Petropod, he's always smiling. Ooh, look at that. That's new. All right. So let's take a look inside. So here we go. This is what you'll see when you open up the box, which I should say, if you want to be surprised, turn back now, because I'm going to open up all this stuff because I'm too excited. So you can see we have, looks great. We've got Grave Ghoul, Insectomite, and the Mud Mump Spellbooks all on display there, and those are sitting flat. And then over here, and of course we have our Spell Clay. Wow, and these things are just full of Spell Clay. So we've got our green and purple Spell Clay. We've got all of our gems and stands right there. And then finally we have all of our dice in this large pocket. But once you have it opened up, all the dice and stuff will store into these smaller pockets, which are just sitting empty right now. Let us open up this lid. All right. Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey. I want to make sure, especially for our retailers, I want to make sure that no matter how it's being displayed in a store, it looks good. All right, so more goodies are hidden underneath our tray. So our tray is obviously to help with storage, and most importantly, to display the spell books from the box. But under the tray, you can see we've got our giant rule, or our big rule book that has a lot of awesome artwork and is full color. Then, of course, we have our game board nestled in there. And finally, we have some of our, what are they called? They're share play cards. So essentially, they're tiles that are just duplicates of the back of a spell book. So if you're playing with, you know, your younger brother or sister, or, you know, if you have multiple kids who want to play and they each want to be Insectomite or the Mud Mumps, they can share them in a game without having to buy multiple battle boxes. And you'll see that in the monster packs as well. I really hope that this ends up in more retail stores, and that's going to be my focus once I get all the copies to you guys as well as our retail backers. So I really want to try to push it out and get it into more stores because I think people are going to love Necromolds. So let's take this off. Gently set it over there because I do have to photograph all this stuff. And here's our game board. You've seen the game board before. It's really well printed, and Panda, our manufacturer, does a fantastic job with all the colors and the printing and the materials. So nice high quality game board. It's a 4-fold, and it folds out to 16 inches by 16 inches square. Then we have, I'll hold these up. Oh, they look great. There's a little shared play card. And one of our backers during the campaign asked if we could double the shared play cards. And instead of doing one with each book, they were hoping for 2 so that the game could be shared with more players at once, or the spellbooks could be. And I thought that was an awesome idea, so that is what we did. So each monster comes with 2 shared play cards. And of course, the last thing we have in the box, almost last, we've got our rule book, full color rule book. And you guys are going to enjoy kind of digging through this at the table. And the rule book actually, it almost seems intimidating a little bit, which is why I'm going to have like the 60-second how to play Necromolds video. You can get really in the weeds with wargaming, which is why there's a few extra call outs in here for movement or line of sight and stuff like that. But the core rules of the game are really, really easy. And just like I think most of you know, there are 3 sets of rules in here. We have the standard rules, then we have a basic variant, which is for younger kids, and then we also have the advanced rule set. And the advanced rule set adds things like the support modifiers when monsters are in a close range to one another. All right. And then the very last thing in the box. There we go. And these look so good. The original prototypes I received had to be hand cut, so the edges were so rough. But these are our terrain pieces. So you can check out the punch board there. And the color, again, is just fantastic. And one thing we wanted to do, especially to offset how vibrant the clay is we tried to make the terrain pieces as well as the game board use more earth tones and kind of just more dirt and clay and just get those tones out of our color palette. I'm not going to punch this because I need to take photos of it. And it's really tempting. I don't think I've ever opened a game before where I haven't punched out the punch board immediately. So putting this back in the box is not easy. All right, so I'm going to reassemble some of these things. If you have questions, add them to the chat. And I'd be happy to cover anything that you all have questions about. Let's put that game board back in there. Let's see, which way is it again? I think it goes like this. I bet I did this upside down. All right. Now let's open up, yeah, I flipped it. Different components that are in the battle box. The board, yeah, that's a good question. I think if I remember right, it might have a little bit of slant to the middle. Let's check it out quick. We're right here. Toby, I have to say, Toby's talking about playing the game. The thing I look forward to the most in 2021 is going to conventions again. I have a game convention that I'm scheduled to be at in November this fall, and my fingers are crossed that it's actually going to happen. So going out and like meeting people and playing Necromolds I cannot wait for fall of this year. All right, so I just opened up the game board for the first time, and it sits pretty flat. I mean, maybe the center's up by like a couple millimeters, and after a few games, I know that'll go away because mine sits flat now. So yeah, game board looks great, and there's no reason you couldn't open this up and play on it without having to stack books on it to get rid of the crease. All right. Let me set this to the side. I can rebox it later. Set that back here. As we dig into the best part of Necromolds, which are our spellbooks and our monsters. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, I have to show you too. So the thing with these spellbooks, oh, look at this. The ones that I have, oh, that looks so good. The ones that I have, I had to hand cut out from like a sticker sheet they gave me because they weren't kiss cut yet. Oh, look at that. There's, of course, the side. I don't know if it'll focus that close. There we go. Little picture, mini picture of Graveghoul there. And, of course, the side that matters the most, the back of the card where all of our stats are. Boy, these look great. They even look more vibrant than the last ones I had. Wow. All right. So there's the back of the spellbook and the front of the spellbook side by side. We've got Graveghoul with Graveghoul's stats. One of the monsters included in the monster box. Here we go. Let that adjust. There's the inside. And just look at those details. Boy, these spellbooks look so good. And I don't know if you remember the spellbooks that were in the trailer we had, but those were just like 3D printed off my printer downstairs. And I've used those forever. So it feels so good to finally use these and to be able to smash clay in here without being worried about the 3D print breaking. And man, I'll hold it up again. And Graveghoul is one of our less complex models, so I'm excited once we get to some of our other monsters. The camera just wants to stay here. Well, we'll go to the next one. All right. And of course, this was something Panda added in, is that the spellbooks snap shut. So I don't know if you heard that. I'll do it over here by the mic. Here we go. So the spellbooks snap shut. Which I love because then when you display them or you put them in the box, they don't flop around. All right. And then let's keep moving. Whew. I could like get hung up staring at these spell books, each one for like 20 minutes. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I love Necromolds colors. All my favorite colors from growing up in collecting Creepy Crawlers and Mighty Max and just like all my favorite 90s toys were big influences in Necromolds. This is a favorite, is Insectomite. And Insectomite looks fantastic as well. It's so nice to finally have... This is like the first time I've actually gotten all the spell books with the stickers applied, fully assembled. And here are the details. Oh, look at that. Ooh, just dreamy. And then one thing we added pretty late in the manufacturing process is at the very bottom of the spellbooks, we added, I don't know if it'll focus, there we go. We added these little holes to the bottom. And what those ended up doing is when you make your monster, there's like these little air holes that I designed into the molds so that some of the air can escape when you're actually pressing clay in these spellbooks. And that little bit of clay sometimes will dry inside the spellbook if it gets caught in there. So what these holes allow for is you can shake the spellbook and that dry clay will just fall right out. So it makes cleaning these things super, super easy. And all the ones that I've had for a few months now, I haven't had to usually with clay molds, you have to open them and you essentially just have to clean any dry clay that gets stuck. And I haven't had to do that with any of my spell books because it just falls right out of those little holes. All right. Last but not least, one of my favorite monsters, the Mud Mumps, which is why it is featured. There we go. I got to block my face. Which is why it is featured in the window of the box. There are Mud Mumps. They are Forsaken. They are the very first Necromold monster. Boom. And there are their stats right on the back of the book. And then let's take a look inside. All right. Of course, snap shut. Boy, these look great. Okay, I have to be gentle with them, though. These are my heroes for photography. All right, then, of course, we have our caster rings. Here's our caster ring, right? There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. This is the spider. The spider is included in the battle box. Whenever you get the battle box, you will always get the spider. Oh, these look awesome. Boom, I'll put that on my pinky. Actually, I won't. I gotta keep it in pristine condition. Put it back in the box. All right, and then of course, the other caster ring that you will also receive in the battle box is our worm skull caster ring. There he is. Kind of see him in there. Boom. All right, and the two that are always included in the battle box are always like in the basalt color scheme. So the dark, it's kind of like an earthly dark brown / gray. And then of course our super vibrant green. All right, last but not least, I can open these up. I'll open these. I still have a whole other box in there that they packaged. All right, so let us open our dice. All right. Boy, the finals look so good. Some of these improvements I really wasn't expecting, but it just shows you that, wow. All right, cool. Let me set these down, and I'll show you one of each. Here we go. I wonder, it looks like maybe they even engraved these a little deeper than my original prototypes. So here we go. Here is our command die. We've got our movement, our ranged attack symbol, our magic symbol, and last but not least, our wild. I have they sent a second copy of the battle box. So there's one copy that had the collector's edition sleeve, and then there's another copy that does not have the collector's edition sleeve, which is right here, and I'm gonna keep it wrapped up. Oh. I am so psyched. I'm so psyched. Like it honestly, I won't be able to really think about it too much until you all have your copies, because that's been my focus for the last, over a year now, is getting you your copies. So once you all have your copies, then I'll celebrate a little more. But it's so good to see all of this. I don't know. You kind of get so caught up in the making process that you forget to look back at how much you've accomplished. I mean, just look at, here's our spell clay. Of course, with our little line, "The monster's in the mold," written around our Necromolds logo. A lot of little fun illustrations. And then, of course, the "do not eat the spell clay." It's not toxic, but you really shouldn't eat the spell clay. So there's green. I'll put that back. I'm not going to open the spell clay because, again, I have to photograph it. And there's our purple spell clay. Come on, camera. All right, here we go. We'll try again. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Man, I love these colors. All right. And then, of course, then we have our stands. 2, 4, 6, 8. So we've got these nice little terrain piece stands. They're pretty basic. They hold up the terrain pieces. And then we have 30 gems. So these are used in the game to boost your rolls and hopefully do more damage against your enemies. All right. I'm going to put all these, actually I'll put these back in the bag. And of course, each player gets 4 command dice. So there are 8 included in the battle box. And then the command dice are also sold separately. So if you wanted to add more players, you could if you had more command dice and more clay. Here is, oh, that looks sharp. So here is our battle dice, or I guess combat die. That's what it's referred to in the game. So the little explosion symbol is a attack hit, and then the little shield is a defense hit. So you'll see those symbols all over this custom die. There's 3 attack hits. And then finally, you'll see this symbol, which is a gem symbol. So whenever you get that, it means you get to collect a gem. And the combat dice were something that were never part of the original game. So if you remember way back to the Kickstarter campaign, the combat used a D10, and players rolled really 1 to 3 D10 each. And then the higher number, whoever rolled the highest number won the combat. And that was cool, but using kind of the extra time we had from COVID, we went back and just kind of re-looked at everything in the game and said, is there anything we want to use some of this extra time we've been given to improve? And we really targeted the combat system. So how could we make the combat system just a little more in-depth without adding much more complexity? So you're still just rolling dice. You're just counting your hits like any dice rolling war game, miniature war game. And the math behind these dice are essentially the same as the math behind the old dice rolls, but this lets us control the variance a lot more. So it just feels better balanced than that old system. Oh, good question, Julian. So the clay container is it's single walled. So here's the, keeps trying to grab my face. There we go. You can see the clay in there. So it's single walled, and it has a twist top on it. So twist top there, lock it down, and then that is the clay container. And it's made out of pretty thick plastic too. So definitely when you get these, definitely keep them. And I would use them for, if you do buy like a third-party clay, or even make your own spell clay, which I'm going to do a tutorial video on at some point, which is just like any kind of dough-type clay that you can play with. Definitely reuse the containers. Oh yeah, the container's not, it's floating in there, so you can pull it out. Or I should say the clay is just floating in the container. So it's not filling it, so you don't have to like scoop it out. It's very much the same consistency as Play-Doh if you've used Play-Doh. Obviously, it's a different clay, and it's kind of our own clay that we're using in the game, but that's what the feel of it is like. All right, let us close this back up, and we are going to move on to the monster packs, which is something that I've never really shown yet. No one out there has really seen the monster packs yet. So that's probably going to be the biggest treat of this video. All right, I'm just gonna rebox this. Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey, about the combat dice. I've gotten so much more use out of them, and the coolest thing about the combat dice, I've essentially played like a game of Necromolds once a week at least, all through quarantine, using Tabletop Simulator, and we've been using the combat dice a lot. And I think my favorite thing about the combat dice is it really gives us an opportunity through future expansions to change what those dice symbols do, add new dice symbols, change the rate that an attack can hit or a defense die can hit. So it really gives me like a lot more game design possibility with these combat dice versus the old combat dice. So as much as it sucked to have everything be so delayed because of COVID, I am thankful that that just like all my friends who've been helping me playtest have been so supportive and helped me reanalyze everything so we could make the game as absolutely cool as possible. Which, like, if I open this for my birthday, I would freak out. Like, this thing is sweet. But let's move to the monster packs, which I'm also equally as proud of. Let's set this guy over here. Boom. Oh, all right. Oh, actually, here we go. I need some room. We have to go back into the box. All right, here we go. What is in the box? Round 2. They do. The monster packs have the same design clay container, but different colored clay, which we will find out, or we should see in a second. All right, so some other stuff that they've packed in here for me. Oh, this is a fun one. All right, let's pull this out. And then we'll do the monster packs. All right, so here are some of our accessories. Oh man, these look great. All right, so first up, pretty basic stuff here. Boom, we have our extra command dice. So if you want to add more players, you can add command dice to your game, and you can add a player. I wouldn't go more than 4 players. The nice thing is that combat happens so much faster in a 4 or 3 player game because you're all so close to each other. So the overall game time still lasts like 30 to 45 minutes, depending on if it's people's first time playing or not. But BattleBox comes for 2 player, and then of course you can always pick up some of these to add more players. All right, here we go. Next up, we of course have other side. Everything's reversed here. We have our collector's lapel pin, which glows in the dark. So I forgot which pledges qualified. I think most of the pledges got this. If you were a newsletter backer, you got one for free for being there early on during our initial kind of announcement of Necromolds, and of course for supporting the campaign. And then if you're an all-in backer, I know for sure you got one of these as well. So there's our awesome lapel pin. And then we have the deluxe distance tool. There it is. Boom, the deluxe distance tool. And this is, again, a 48-hour thing. So luckily, because the campaign was successful within 48 hours, everyone who backed at a battle box or higher is going to receive a deluxe distance tool. Here it is. So it comes with the lanyard. Whenever I play, I wear it on my wrist, and then I can flick it in my hand and use it. So you're gonna love this. I designed it for myself originally, and I liked it so much that I wanted to make it essentially like a campaign stretch goal if we would be successful enough to fund within those first 48. And thanks to all of you, we did that. So all of you will be getting one of these. And about the tabletop simulator demo, I will release that at some point. I'm going to wait until backers have their copies of Necromolds, mostly because I want your first experience with Necromolds to be the physical version. I mean, the whole thing's based around, smashing monsters. And then eventually I'll release the tabletop simulator version for people sometime shortly after. And I'm hoping once I actually start moving kind of the remaining copies of Necromolds, I can hopefully put a little bit of money into hiring a few animators or tabletop coders to help me make it so the experience of Necromolds on Tabletop Simulator is a little more squishy. All right, last but not least, as far as random accessories go, we have all of our Kickstarter rings. Boom. The exclusive Toxic Glitter caster rings. These things are sick. Everyone who's getting these, you're going to be excited. I'm actually somewhat disappointed that I made it a Kickstarter exclusive color because the color looks so cool. And it actually, if you have blacklight, these things light up in blacklight. They kind of glow. Oh, look at that. All right. So there we go. Here's one of them. I'll hold it up close. And just like the distance tool, there are sparkles in these glitter caster rings. Oh, look at that reflection. Just as designed. And this one is, I don't know if you can tell, this one is our Chaos Lizard. A little hard to tell because it's somewhat transparent. Yeah, the deluxe distance tool is like this purplish, it's like a purplish pink color. I think it's mainly pink because of the because of how thin the distance tool is. And it's flexible. So that's one thing I should mention too, is the distance tool is flexible and it has glitter in it. It kind of reminds, when I was designing it, it reminded me of the lids of your crayon and like pencil and marker box you might have in elementary school. And I don't know if anyone else out there had those. And I remember in my elementary school, the thing we would do is we would layer Elmer's glue on top of like the bumpy lid of that pencil container. And then once it dried, you'd like peel it off. And for some reason that was really cool. But those lids always had sparkles in them, which is partially why I wanted to add sparkles to this tool. Little trip down memory lane. All right, a lot of rings. We have ring pack 1, we have ring pack 2. There are 20 rings here, plus of course the 2 rings that are in the battle box. So 22 rings total just between these. So y'all are gonna have a lot of caster rings. And if you're a Kickstarter backer and you are getting these, you know for sure you have one of each. And that's like the coolest thing about that pledge level, is that if you have the collector's mentality like I do, you know that you at least have one of each of these caster rings. And I will have to go in later and make sure that these are organized right, make sure that there's one of each, and do all like the detail work so I can give Peter over at Panda the approval to finish manufacturing or to finish assembly. All right. Now, last but not least, this might be the main event. Here we go. Last in the box are our monster packs. Oh. All right. I have not seen all of these yet, so this is even new to me. I've seen one of them fully printed and assembled. All right, here we go. Very carefully, we'll flip it around. Oh man, a Necromolds Trapper Keeper. I go crazy for that. Oh, these look great. Okay, here we go. All right. We have all 4 monster packs. One thing I really didn't I kind of realized when, I guess, each of these monster packs is essentially an expansion. And so it ended up being, of course, a ton of work to put all this stuff together, which was a lot of fun. But now when you look at it, like anyone who went all in or went with the monster collection pack, you're going to get a lot of really cool stuff to open. So it's going to kind of feel like your birthday or Christmas or whatever holiday you want to celebrate. Here we go. Let us start with the one that I've seen before, which is Monster Pack 1. Oh, look at that. Vegetoad and Lithydra. You can see Lithydra right up front and center there. On the side of each monster pack, you get a nice, big, beautiful illustration. Vegetoad, Lithydra. If focus decides to come back for us. There we go, Lithydra. Oh, here we go. And then finally the back. A little bit of info about each monster, a little photo of each model. Some flavor text. And of course, collect all the Necromolds spellbooks and expand your army. Monster Pack 1. We'll set it aside. We'll go through and look at all the monster packs quick. Then we'll open a couple up. All right, here we go. Let's do them in order. Monster Pack 2. have not seen this yet. I better look at it first. Make sure there's no issues. All right, it's beautiful. Here we go. Monster Pack 2. Boom. This one is Batadactyl and Monguragon. You can see Batadactyl hovering there in the window. And of course, you can see in the corner of the box, caster ring included. Because each monster pack includes a random caster ring. 22 different designs in 2 different colors. There's the back of the box. And of course, the nice illustration of each monster. All right. Thank you, everybody. Oh, yeah. These monster packs are pretty big. There's a lot in here. In a monster pack, there's clay, a caster ring, 2 spell books. So you get a lot out of a monster pack. And I just can't wait. Like, I try to imagine what this is going to look like in a toy aisle, especially when I was designing these things. And where's that battle box? Here we go. We'll keep this on standby for when we finish looking at all the rest of the packs. Then we can kind of look at them all together. Oh, the last thing I didn't show you guys. On the tops of these monster packs are some really cool illustrations that Thad did specifically for the monster packs. So here we have a Monguragon fighting a Batadactyl. And I love this, and this is an art style we're going to do more of on the packaging and just as we can expand the universe, especially with some of the expansions that I've been working on that I'm hoping we have the opportunity to actually create. I love that style. I'll show you the one on the Lithydra too. Oh, there we go. You can see some, we've got some veggie toads burping at some mud mumps. Looks like they're burping up. Oh no, that's right. Lithydra has these water globs floating around it. And the mud mumps are caught in some of those globs as the veggie toad looks like it kind of is belching out in anger as the mud mumps are surrounding it. Oh, great question. I hope we can make the monster or the expansion. I've got it designed and I've been playtesting it for quite a while now. And there's more monster packs too that we've been working on doing the illustrations for. We just need to be able to, we need to like sell out of our first print run, which I only have to move, I think it's 15 to 1700 copies. So I think 1700 copies once everyone's been fulfilled. And if we can sell those, then we're like golden to actually get the ball moving on more monster packs, more expansions. If we can hit the second print run, we'll be set. All right. What was I gonna, there's one, oh yeah. I missed, it's the tricky thing in YouTube is I don't have everyone's like personal names. But one of you asked about the shared play cards, and the monster packs do include shared play cards. So for each spell book, you also get 2 shared played cards. So if one of your friends has Monster Pack 1 and you have Monster Pack 2, you both can still play together and share your monsters. All right, there we go. Boom. Let us move on. Here we go. We'll keep going in order. Monster Pack 3. There it is. Ooh, Monster Pack 3. We have Fungix and Petrapod in Monster Pack 3. You can see Fungix is up in the window. And I think, yeah, look at that. I think for this one, I'll show you that awesome top illustration as well. The Fungix and Petrapod locked in battle. Who's going to win? Who's going to get smashed? That is for you to find out. All right, last but not least, and this one especially is thanks to all of you because this one was a stretch goal, and these monsters were not, we had a bunch of sketches of potential future monsters, but these ones weren't really designed until after the campaign, and it's all thanks to our stretch goals and your support. Here we go. Monster Pack 4. Where if I can focus. Here we go. There we go. Monster Pack 4. Sigurath and Ancropora. And I just love these windows. Like, ugh. And of course, oh, there's our nice big illustration of Ancropora. Here is Sigurath, who one of our very early backers and supporters here on YouTube, Ben, helped name Sigurath. Oh, come on, camera. I think I have to put it in front of my face. I think I have face tracking on my camera. There we go. Sigurath. The back of the box. And of course, flip it around. Sigurath versus Ancropora, with a bunch of mud mumps getting in the way. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to decide. Originally, I'm trying to decide if I were to pick these up, I wouldn't want to throw the boxes away, but I don't know how I would keep them. Originally, they were just designed to be like retail boxes that you dispose of, because then you're going to put your books in your battle box. But they look really, really good. And they're really well made, too. I mean, they feel really nice. Let us open one of them up. Let's try opening up this one I have here. Before I do that, though, we'll kind of look at them all together. These boxes are actually like tuck boxes. So there's no glue, there's no tape. They're just kind of folded together tuck boxes. They're folded really well, though. So like you'll see when I open them up, I have to kind of be careful to not damage them when I try to undo the top flap. But man, look at this. We'll just do these two. So as you can see, especially hopefully if you're a retailer watching, we had like 30 some retailers back us on the campaign, which is awesome, because I was not expecting that. This stuff's going to look sweet in a board game store or on a toy shelf. Boom. All right, let us open up a monster pack, see what's inside. Set this box back. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to very carefully open up this monster pack. Oh, man. Don't want to rip the wings on it. Let's see. I'll see if there's one that's maybe a little easier to open. I'm going to open up Lethydra, because Lethydra I have another copy of. So if something happened to this one, I'd be all good. All right, I got it. It was almost like I was deactivating a trap. All right, here we go. So, inside the monster pack. I can't get over that window. Here we go. Gotta be careful. Come on. There we go. All right, I got it. Inside the monster pack is this tiny little tray that holds everything. And of course, I'll take these ones out first and show these off. More shared play cards. There is Lethydra's shared play card. Here is the Veggie-Toad shared play card. Another side note, our artwork on the cards changed as far as like the borders go and the styles. So if you look way back at our campaign page, you'll see that we actually took extra time to revamp some of the artwork on these final cards. The boxes, luckily, are not glued shut. Yeah, no glue or tape. They're just folded really well. There's like these little flaps that catch inside the box. Oh, here we go. No one has seen this yet. The back of these little punchboard cards. Let's try one more. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Little Necromolds logo with some monsters around the silhouette, and of course a victorious mud mump standing at the center. And those are on the back of our shared play cards. And one really cool thing too with our shared play cards is you actually use them in the solo mode. So in the rule book is a solo variant with some steps and rules on how to play Necromolds by yourself. And one thing you do is you're essentially battling Basalt LeSueur. And you shuffle your shared play tiles or shared play cards together, and you essentially draw them out. And when you draw them out, that helps determine which monsters Basalt LeSueur is using in their army. So shared play cards, not only good for sharing with friends, but also for playing in the solo mode. And I'm sure actually some of the things we've been working on use the shared played cards as well as like a gameplay component or tool for setup. So I'm glad that we expanded these to 2 per spellbook. Set those back in the box for now. So finally, I'll let you get kind of a nice close-up of this. There we go. We've got Lethydra sitting there. We've got a thing of spell clay, and then we've got a, that one's the Veggie-Toad spellbook in there as well. Oh, look at that. Okay, there's something else in there too that I've never seen before. All right, here we go. I'll look at the stuff I've seen first. Man, these look so good. Okay, look at this. There's Lethydra. Oh. These just look so freaking cool. All right, and then of course Veggie-Toad. There's of course the view of Veggie-Toad in there. And then I wonder if I can do that. I should be able to. Here we go. All right, I'm going to show you all quick before we get to the stuff I haven't seen yet. I'm really excited to see. So this is essentially like if for some reason you had clay stuck inside your spellbook and you needed to clean it out, the way that we designed these makes it really easy to clean out any dried clay in your spellbook. All you have to do is you just lift out the page, and it's a little snug, if I can get it. Definitely like a thing adults would do. You wouldn't want, I don't think you'd want kids to do this. This is more of a step for adults if they need to clean out their spellbook. And then essentially it just kind of, if I can get it, they're just on these little kind of studs on the corners. And I just have to get this last one out. Come on, buddy. Come on. This one doesn't want to be as easy as the other ones. 1 second. I'm also trying to be super careful because I don't want to like scratch the sticker or something. Although this, there we go. Okay, that one's just a little tight. So as you can see in here, if you needed to, you could pop off that spellbook page and it kind of sits on these studs. And the studs are just long enough that it holds the spellbook in place when you play and you mold monsters. The thing doesn't fall apart. But they're short enough where if you really needed to get inside of them to clean it out, you could. So there's like what the back of that spellbook looks like. Whoa, where's my face? There you go. So you can see there's the back of the Veggie-Toads. If you had to get in there to clean them out, you certainly can. Or one thing that I've kind of been experimenting with molding different things in here. So being able to clean these has been really useful for that. One thing I want to try is using them to mold, to make some resin monsters. I haven't done it yet, but it is on my to-do list. And then you just push the page back together and it snaps in place. And yes, there is a spot for shared play cards in the battle box. So let me just show you that quick, and then we'll get to the last thing. Because we are almost done seeing everything. We'll set that to the side. So how we had to design, or how we designed the battle box is a little bit, it's kind of a choose your own adventure a little bit. So let me show it off. So essentially, once these dice are opened, they don't need all this room. So normally what I would do is I would store my dice up in these pockets, and that's where these dice can live. And then you essentially have this whole big cavity to put shared play cards. So they can partially fit in there. They can also sit loose in the bottom if they needed to. One of the challenges with designing this tray was we had a lot of stuff we wanted to fit in this tray. And designing the tray, unfortunately, is the very last thing in the manufacturing process. So I think if we could have made the box a little bigger, we probably would have, if we would have known how tight we would end up being for space to fit all this stuff in. It was really the depth of the box we started to fight a little bit. But we also have this whole big cavity here, which I just left empty. In our original design, we actually had like spacers and dividers in here, which actually lowered the number of spellbooks you could store inside the box. But the problem with that is that not everyone's going to have every spellbook, and we already have plans for making more monsters. So what I wanted to do is kind of open up that cavity where if you want to store all your Series 1 monsters in there and stack them up, you can, and they fit. So this box fits all the monsters. What I probably will do is, like, I for sure would display my spellbooks. So like all my spellbooks, I just have sitting on my desk or kind of like lined up on display. And I think that's what a lot of kids would do as well. So instead, what we did is we designed this pocket to be a little more universal. So if you have, you know, the extra caster rings, for example. So if you have duplicate caster rings or extra caster rings, you can store them in this cavity. Just kind of whatever you want to put in there. That's what we designed this for. So if it's the spellbooks, if it's spellbooks and rings, but yes, they do all fit in there. And it was a challenge. Panda sent me a few different tray designs because they were struggling. I guess they were struggling trying to figure out how can we make all of this fit in the box. And some of the solutions included, you know, doing 9 out of the 11 or 8 out of the 11 spell books in the main box. And I was really fixated on making sure we could at least get all the spell books in the box. Because that's something that we had targeted for a goal for the box, and I didn't want to miss that target. And luckily we didn't. So it all ended up working. We set this back here, and then we'll get on to the last piece, which is something that I, again, have not seen. All right. Inside the tray, we have another spell clay. So this one is it's kind of like a sky blue color, a little darker than a sky blue. Oh, the Kamen Rider spellbooks, or not spellbooks, the Kamen Rider saber books. I actually did not know about that before Necromolds, and then I think somebody brought it to my attention on Twitter, and I was just like, I was kind of blown away that I hadn't seen that in any of my research, but they look super cool, and I bet Necromolds will look awesome next to them. Oh, and one thing I'll mention before we go to the last thing, each monster comes with a different clay. So this Lithydra comes with blue. Fungix comes with like an orange. Yeah, Fungix comes with orange. The Monguragon comes with red. Batadactyl and Monguragon come with red. And then Anthropora comes with like a pinkish purple, more of like a pink color. All right. Oh, yeah, totally. Like, I think, honestly, if I was going to bring all my stuff to a convention, and this is one thing I'll throw up on like a blog or something later, is once the game is out, is like using just one of those storage containers that you can get at like a Target or Walmart, the ones that are double layered, work really, really well because they're not very big and you can store everything in them, including extra clay. So you can, that's one thing you won't be able to store in the battle box is like the extra clay you're going to get. Unfortunately, we just didn't have room for that. But in the future, I have some ideas for some other storage solutions that I want to explore and play around with. All right, here we go. The last thing that I have not seen in person. Okay, look at this. This is the mystery ring pack I have not seen this in person before, and it looks so good. It's like a shiny, like if you've ever bought a minifig, like a Lego minifig, that's the kind of packaging this is. So it's like this super shiny, very vibrant. Boom. Try to get back in focus there. Ah, it looks so good. Collect all 20 in the corner. Although technically it's kind of collect all 40 because there's 2 different colors, but I didn't want to be deceptive. There's 20 different monster designs, and of course in 2 colors. Look at that. Oh, yeah. So Jeffrey, we actually designed, or I should say, I actually laid out and designed the monster or the mystery ring pack specifically so we can sell them separately. So they'll definitely be on our website available, sold separately. And I know some of our retail backers also added extra caster rings. So if you're a retail backer and you added more caster rings to your order, this is what they'll look like. You can hang them on a hook right by the battle box. And they retail, I'm trying to remember, they retail for $3.99. So, so just shy of $4. And inside, oh, I really want to open it. But I only have, well, I guess I have actually I have quite a few. Let's open this one. We're going to open it. And I don't know which ring it is. All right. Ah, this is like, all right, here we go. This is the very first caster ring ever opened for Necromolds. We're going to even use the little like rip tab they have here. Thank you for all being here with me as I rip open the spell caster ring pack. Let's see what we got. All right, inside. Oh, we got the Mystic Cobra. Come on, camera. There we go. In the basalt color. The other potential was the glow in the dark. So we got the Mystic Cobra in our ring pack. And finally, a little surprise for everyone. We also have a little Kiss Cut sticker sheet. So each Necromold ring pack also comes with a sticker sheet inside. And right now they're all the same. So they're all the same sticker sheet. If we can blow Necromolds up big enough, I want to have different sticker sheets inside the packs. But hey, if you want to make a Necromolds Trapper Keeper, you now have the sticker sheet to make it happen. So you got a couple little fun logo stickers as well as some mud mumps just goofing off. So little mud mumps goofing around there. Little mud mumps getting ready for battle in that one. There we go. Mud mumps climbing all over the logos. And these are Kiss Cut. So they should peel right off. And they do. I'll leave that intact for now. All right, so that is in the caster ring pack. We have our sticker sheet, and we have our random caster ring. Boy. The colors look so good on this. And I know this is one thing that the manufacturing team was also found challenging, is I don't know if they've worked with this material before, but getting the colors right was something that they really pushed for. And man, these turned out great. Wow. All right. Yeah, thank you for joining. I think that's really it. I just kind of have like a mess of Necromold stuff on my desk, including monster packs. And my agenda tomorrow is to go through with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that everything looks perfect so that manufacturing can finish the assembly process. Yeah, that's a great question. The ring packs, so the question was, would the ring packs potentially have duplicates of the core box rings? And the answer is no. So the core box rings only exist inside the battle box. So you'll never receive those rings inside of a mystery ring pack. So there are 20 unique designs that you could find inside of a pack. And again, each monster pack comes with a mystery caster ring. And I know quite a few of our Kickstarter pledge levels also included an additional Necromolds mystery ring pack. So that's really it. I think the last thing, feel free to ask any questions. The last thing I'll put in this video before I call it a night is just to talk a little bit about where we are in the process, what's next, and what you all can expect. So the first things first, this, like I said at the beginning of the video, is the last manufacturing step, is for me to just look everything over, make sure it all looks right, and then give Peter over at Panda Games Manufacturing the thumbs up to finish off assembly. And everything on first look looks fantastic. So I haven't seen anything that gives me any pause or hesitation. But again, I'll go through tomorrow and double check everything and then send my approval his way. The next thing after that is they are going to finish assembling all of our monster packs and our battle boxes. After that, there's Chinese New Year, which lasts most of February, and it lasts till the very end of February. So there's a big holiday in China where none of the factories are open. So that will, hopefully we can get a lot of assembly done prior to that. But we'll probably have some assembly that needs to be picked up and finished after Chinese New Year ends. And then after that, then we do freight. And freight is definitely the thing I'm most nervous about at this point, only because I wouldn't know it if I wasn't following it specifically for Necromolds, but there's an international cargo freight shortage that's been affecting China and the UK and the US. And essentially what's happened is there's a lot of stuff trying to ship out of China, and this has been happening since November, and they just don't have enough cargo, 40-foot cargo containers to load the ships up and send them off. So it's caused a lot of shipping issues for a lot of Kickstarters over the holiday season. And unfortunately, it hasn't 100% been solved yet, which means that things are taking longer to ship freight-wise. And then also costs have been just like astronomical. Like normally a cargo container would be a couple $1,000s, depending on the broker and what you're shipping and weight and all that. And some people are seeing costs go up to like $10,000 for that same container, all because of this shortage. And if you're a huge toy company, you can afford to pay that. And if you're me, things become a lot tighter. So that has me the most nervous, but I'm going to check in with our fulfillment company once we get a little further into February and just get a temperature check and see how they think things are looking, what the future holds for freight. Because as soon as assembly's done, I want to put these things on a ship and start getting them to our fulfillment centers. So I know one of you asked about when you guys might be receiving all of this great stuff. And I'm hoping end of April, but I say it with pause because this international shipping thing kind of has me, nervous to lock down a date. I won't feel good until the cargo container is on a ship, because at that point we know when it'll hit customs, when it'll be at the fulfillment center, and then when it'll ship out. And once it gets to the fulfillment center, shipping will happen really fast. So I already put the deposit down for all of our fulfillment for Necromolds. So we should be first, or at least in top of the line. So as soon as our stuff gets to the fulfillment center, it'll have their full attention to get out the door into all you backers. So that's where we are in general timeline terms. Finishing assembly, then we do freight. Freight takes 1.5 to 2 months normally. Again, I'll check with our fulfillment center to see how they're feeling on that timeline. And then after that, we will hopefully all be playing Necromolds together. So I'm just going to scroll through quick, see if there's any last questions we wanted to answer before I head out. So thank you all for joining. Press a defeated monster. Oh, yeah, thank you for grabbing that question, Tim. So far, the monsters, just like Tim said, when you smash your monster, it basically becomes terrain. So you can't end your turn there. So it's a very, I guess late game, it actually can have quite an effect, because you can have lanes from the terrain actually be blocked off by smashed monsters. And some people have talked about maybe adding special effects or abilities to the rings. And I've explored that, and I haven't quite unlocked what that is yet. But in the rulebook, you'll see I completely encourage everyone to add any rules you want. I mean, Necromolds is really a base miniature war game. So if you want to add a rule where, hey, if you end your turn next to the snake piece or touching the snake smash marker, it like bites you for damage, go for it. and if it works really well, share it on our Discord or any of our other channels, because that's what I'm hoping we can do once you all have Necromolds and we're all playing together. So I don't know how YouTube works. I think you can still leave comments after the live video gets posted. So if you're watching this video after the live event, please do leave a comment and ask a question, and I'll be sure to check back and make sure I answer any questions you have. Otherwise, you can always find me, of course, on Facebook on the Necromolds page or on our Kickstarter page. You can always leave a comment there, and I'm always watching that, and I reply as soon as I can. So thank you all again for joining me tonight. I'm going to clean up my mess. I am going to play around with this caster ring, and then, of course, check out that other battle box that I have, which is really just the same thing again, but I'll get to relive the unboxing experience. So again, thank you all, and I will see you next time.